I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is COLM McGuigan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Leonard Ellerbe. Leonard, we spoke yesterday, we had a good chat yesterday, but I want to really get your thoughts on a few things about this fight. I heard Oscar De La Hoya make some comments earlier that this fight nearly didn't go ahead due to a rehydration clause. Have you any comment on that?
No. I'm not paying Oscar no attention to anything that he says. The fight was made. We're here Saturday night.
Was it a tough fight to make, this one? Because, you know, we often see in boxing that different organisations sometimes can't work together. PBC, Golden Boy working together. Talk to me about how hard it was to make this fight.
Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia both made this fight. That's what it came down to. Tank has been wanting this fight for quite some time. We made some offers to them in the past. The timing is right now for them. Ryan wanted this fight right now, and he told his promoter, get it done.
Do you believe there is no real loser in this fight, because these two guys are going at it almost, you know, well, we can say Tank's probably at the prime of his career. Ryan's getting there. Do you think this fight being made at this time, there is no real loser to this fight?
Oh, there's a winner and there's a loser. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. I'm not even going to say nothing like that. I mean, it's like, we don't even mention that word, you know, in our circles. You know, Tank is knocking him the fuck out on Saturday night, period.
In terms of what Tank does well, I've heard you on record this week saying that Ryan does some things well, but Tank does everything better.
I'm not cutting you off. Ryan Garcia does a lot of things really good. A lot of things. He does a lot of things really good. But Tank just does everything that much better.
In terms of this fight and how big it is, the magnitude of this fight, everyone wants to be at it. Where do you think that the pay-per-view number sits?
Don't know. Don't know. I know it's a massive event, as evidenced by, you know, the live gate. You know, that's always an indication of what you got. So we just got to wait and see. You know, the fans have supported this event in an enormous way, with the ticket sales, you know, and so we've done a great job with this promotion, and I fully expect it to do really well.
You put Tank on a show which was the second highest grossing show ever in Mayweather McGregor. At that point, as his representative, did you envisage a big night like this in boxing in Vegas for Tank?
Me, Floyd, and Al Heyman, we've always had this vision, you know, from early on, and you know, we have advantages that other promoters don't have. What other promoter has an advantage of putting a young fighter on the, you know, one of the biggest fights in history?
I know what you're saying, and my question on that is that how high of a ceiling do you think Tank Davis has? Where can he go in this sport? Does this bring him onto a different stratosphere if he gets the win on Saturday night?
When he knocks him out, again, it's no secret. I've been saying from day one what it is that, and they know, everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me. They say, oh, you know, he just talking nonsense. I've been told, all of you guys, that Tank Davis is going to be the biggest star in boxing. I've been saying that. You go back and just look. Years ago, I've been saying that. And we're here right now, again, on the biggest platform in the biggest fight in boxing right now. And he's going to go in there and have a dynamic performance on Saturday night, and he'll become the face of boxing.
I don't want to look past Saturday night. It would be foolish to do so.
We're not either.
And I know you won't. But what I want to ask you is, hypothetically speaking, and you believe he will, Gervonta Davis goes into this fight on Saturday night. He knocks Ryan Garcia out. Where does he go next? Who would you like to see him in with next?
would like to see him take a vacation, spend some time with his kids, and come back and regroup and do whatever he wants to do.
I spoke to Joe Goosen, and he said he's worked with some of the biggest fighters in the sport. And he commented saying that he's never met anyone with the mentality of Ryan. He actually compared him to a coach because he said that he doesn't really need to give him any real advice because Ryan's always a step ahead. Do you feel that same way when you look at Tank?
No, Tank has an excellent coach, and Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny Ellis. You know, they have a great team, a great strength coach, and Coach Russ. You know, and his internal team. You know, he has a complete team around him. So at this point, you know, it's like, yeah, a young fighter does need direction, and in that ring, that's what you have a coach for.
Tank's been everywhere. He sells out arenas all over this country. He's been to the UK. Yeah, he's been to the UK. I know. Will we see him back in the UK? Would you like to see him back in the UK going forward, maybe in his next fight after this one?
That would be his decision, but me personally, I would love that. I love the fans in the UK. You know, they jerk my chain a lot. I like stuff like that, though, you know, because you got to remember, you know, I take it back to 16 years ago when we went over, when you know where we went with Ricky Hatton. You know, we're built for this. We're built for this. You know, so, you know, I love the fans over there. You know, they have a good time. They say crazy things, but it's all in fun. It's all in fun because, again, there wouldn't be nothing to talk about if you wasn't on the top. You know what I mean? It's like we've been on the top, and it gets no bigger than that. That's why you have guys who say this and they say that. You know, but again, they haven't achieved the level of success as a Floyd Mayweather. And as a promoter, you know, it's at the end of the day, when you're on top when you're at the top, you can expect criticism. It just comes with success. And it's all about how you handle things. And me personally, none of it's personal. You know, none of it's personal.
In terms of a question going off that, we spoke yesterday, you know, you and Eddie Hearn, you have a bit of banter back and forth, and I truly believe that if you two sat down at a table, you two would get on like a house on fire, because you're similar personalities. You two guys, I think, if you sat down at a table, you get on like a house on fire, right? I've met you both, I spoke to you both, I think you would. There is a little bit of needle there between you, and it's good, and it builds things up, right? Eddie has replied to the tweet. I don't know if you've seen it, but we put out the interview, and he tweeted back saying "state of him" with a laughing emoji.
I'm saying a what?
He said "state of him." State of him.
What does that mean?
As in, he was saying that your appearance yesterday, you didn't dress well, is basically what I got from his tweet. Do you have any comment back to say to that?
No, I don't pay him. Everybody knows that what it is. I'm not even going to go back and forth with him and give him the satisfaction of that. I'm focused on this. I have fun with you guys going back and forth, but
I know you're focused on this, but I did mention something there about you two sitting down at a table. One day, do you think that could happen? Because one, we could definitely pay-per-view it, and two, I genuinely believe you two guys would get on well.
Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, the biggest fight in boxing. Tune in.
Last one from me. Will Floyd Mayweather be in town on Saturday night? Will he be at this fight?
Yes, he will.
Thank you very much, Leonard. I really appreciate your time. Pleasure as always.
Thank you, my guy.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,